Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Book 91. We're talking to you guys about Ready to Love, dealing with Aries and Phil. She clears up the comments about his stability on a podcast. I think it's Talk with Slana. So I thought I'd tap in and see what Aries has to say because I was still a little bit hurt by the respect comment that she made about Phil. As a man, I know how tough it is when you're trying to be financially stable and then when you're trying to provide a stable platform, but maybe there's more to the story than what I was seeing on the show. Let's get a little bit into it. Before we do, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We're trying to get to 100K, baby. We're trying to do it impossible, okay? We want to do it impossible because with my God, we can do anything. You understand what I'm saying to you? And for those of you who are returnees, really know what it is, baby. You got the minerals, baby. Let's step into this. Stay hydrated because the streets out there, they are hot. I mean, they've got cooler recently, but they're still quite hot. Let's get into this. Let's play.
Hiring to do. Listen,
That
this is
part.
what my goal is. I'm gonna try to at least something. That
Okay,
I'm
I'm gonna say, let me jump up in here. Hold on,
Yeah.
guys.
Hey, Queen, good to hear you.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good
How are you?
afternoon.
I'm
We're
good. How are
good.
y'all? Okay. So let me just clear this up because it's it's just so much going on. Phil has a job. I never once, if y'all actually watched the show, I never brought his finances up ever. Not once.
Okay.
I never
Okay.
said he was broke. I never said he didn't have a job.
Very true.
I said he was unstable. And hold on, my audio.
You're good.
Hold
We're
on.
right here.
Mhm.
Okay. My AirPods is like duplicating. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
It was instability because, and why I was saying that was based on things that we were talking about off camera. Okay. So comedy
Okay.
was one of the things, but here was the real thing. It was mainly because, number one, we get to talking about jobs on camera. I'm very sensitive to that because let's just say, for instance, someone says they don't like their job. They're not going to want to say that on camera, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Your coworker might be watching. If I say I don't like my boss, I'm not going to want to say that on camera, right? So
Exactly right.
I'm paying attention to certain things like that. So just put an asterisk there. Secondly, if you are telling me about 4 things you want to do and none of them are really like connected to each other, I'm kind of what are your goals? What's your vision for? So for instance, for me, I work in tech. I have a podcast to empower women when it comes to things regarding your professional and personal career. I do speaking engagements for women in tech. I was the president of a women in tech nonprofit. I do a lot of get Black people in tech. I'm working DEI in my job as well. All of my things are aligned. It kind of all is in the same family. These are part of my purpose, my goal, my calling in life. These are the things that I'm passionate about. So if someone asks me about my goals, those are going to be the things that you'll see the alignment in everything that I'm doing, right? So for me with him, I wasn't seeing that with the different things he kept saying he wanted to do. And even the audience can see from the show, you have not really had a track record that showed success in the other ventures that you've done. So of course I'm going to feel a little like, do you know where you're going? Like, I don't want to just, we're 40 something years old. I need to know where you're going for me to hitch my wagon to to you, right?
So I think what I heard from Aries in this particular instance is saying that not necessarily he didn't have a job or a stable job. What it was the vision wasn't necessarily clearly laid out. And therefore the plan to follow wasn't very clearly laid out. And therefore direction was lacking. And due to the direction lacking, she couldn't trust where they were going. And that then made her want to separate or at least step back from him because what she needed was that assurance that the where direction he's going in, she can go in it. And she alluded to the fact that her jobs that she has and the different ventures he have are all streamlined together. Now, I'm not really fussed about the fact that Phil has maybe different ventures that don't make sense to us because what does Shaq O'Neal have to do with a wing stop or what's the name? DJ Khaled have to do with Wingstop, whatever, right? Or Shaq O'Neal owning burger stops. They're basketball players. The thing is can the vision is a vision being explained so it does align? Because in reality, the thing that makes something align is that you have clarity yourself. So, for instance, him wanting to be a comedian isn't an issue if you can explain the pathway and how you're going to get there and what you're going to do to get there. I think that's really key. For instance, I can do YouTube, but I can do MCing. Right now, there can be someone might see transferable skills, but at one point I could be a football commentator. I love football that much. I could be a dance instructor. right? You see that only because I've presented that to you, right? For instance, on TikTok, I got a huge following on TikTok. I had do nothing to do with relationships at all. In fact, people would come down like, wait, hold a minute. You have a lower body? We only see upper body on YouTube. So, people don't really see that, and they might not know that part of me, because if they only watch my YouTube, they're never going to think, oh, he dances, until I present that to them. So I can have several different things about me that are different, but it's me that has to bring the clarity and bring the alignment in and the plan. You know what I mean? So in that case, I do understand what she's saying, but also at the same time, I'm looking at Phil and going, did you present the plan? Did you present clarity on your vision? And did you know where you were going? If you didn't, then it's going to be a little bit of confusion, because the other person is matured and settled already with a family, and they need to know where you're going so they can follow. And that's what she's saying in that sense, right?
Like, what are you doing
So-
with your life? Where
so
are you trying to go?
basically-
So that's why I was like,
so
it's kind
basically-
of not clear to me.
So basically, what I'm hearing you saying is
And I wish they wouldn't interrupt. Like, let her land, let her finish a point, and then you can, channel what you got to say.
wasn't so much of the fact that he couldn't hold it down. It was the fact of there was instability with his purpose and how that purpose aligned
Yes,
through
like
the
I never.
consistency, correct? Okay.
His amount
I can
of money
receive
to
that.
make, none of that was that wasn't even the topic. I feel like what happened was, and if y'all looking at the last 2 episodes, yes, those confessionals were filmed after the finale. So all that little attitude was, you were already in your place. So
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
so what I saw
Oh.
last week, I was kind of like, oh, you got a little spicy. I see you, whatever. But I knew he wasn't in good spirits when he went and filmed that, because that was the day after we were all in there getting ready to do interviews, and he was not in the best mood. So
Right.
I gave him grace for that, because you were feeling some type of way, and I get it. But I was really being sensitive to how he felt, because I didn't want to be making him look crazy on TV. Obviously, editing can keep putting the same thing about me saying stability 50 times. I wasn't really bringing it up that many times. It was mainly like, help me understand. Like, you're still not clarifying it. Even when we get on cameras, like, you're still kind of dancing around it and not.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was him in the beginning trying to just tell me like, look, I got all this stuff that I plan on doing to impress me, but also not really having a goal for those things. Like, so how you gonna do that? Like, how's that gonna look? Like,
Right.
it wasn't making sense to me. So that's where I was just like, do you know where you're going? Like, maybe you need to like take a step back and just focus on grinding,
And I think, so what she's saying is that there needs to be a direction that comes from all the things that he has in mind, right? So I think sometimes what happens as men, we can have many ideas, but no real center focus. So what's the key focus, and then how do we then branch out from there, right? So, like, for instance, I'm focused on YouTube, and I can branch out to relationship counseling. I can do my TikToks. I can do my merchandising. These are all branches off what I'm doing, my podcast, my book that I'm writing. They can all be a branch off. So in some sense, what it is, and that's why I said, maybe I was wrong about the financial stability, but it's stability in the idea of what you want to do. So having multiple ideas, but then like she said, no how is a problem. And when we're not, and I guess also when there's no forward progression, I think that's also a really key thing. Is there any forward progression in here? I think that also is a key part, because if there's a lot of talking, but there isn't any action that is executionable, or at least no action that is being seen, that also creates an instability. That also creates a distrust, because I have several things going on at the same time, but you can't tell me I'm unstable. You know what I mean? Because I've got actions that I've been put into place, and I'm doing things. So I'm actually doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you actually see me doing it. And so I think that aspect, was she able to see what he was doing? Or was it just a lot of talk about, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, but then not really seeing the movement of those things as well?
right now. That's fine. Like, there's no judgment. Like, people think I came from money. I didn't. Like, my parents went through reinventing and growth. Like, we started from the bottom, now we're here type, situation. Like, everybody came from where I'm at now was not from like silver spoon. I came from straight hood. My father, yes, he played professional baseball, but that was in the 70s. Like, he went and had to start over. He did that. So I know what that looks like. My stepfather was a blue collar worker. My mom was a stay at home, mom or whatever. So there's a certain type of way I look at things. Like, I feel like everybody can reinvent themselves and start over, but it's also, you need to know what the plan is, like when my dad would
I don't think anybody could think that of you. I mean, from how you carried yourself, it seemed like you were very open and understanding and very sensitive to anybody's journey. So I don't think anybody could think of that.
Yeah, there was no judgment on that, or I wasn't like counting his dollars and want to see his paycheck stubs or none of that stuff. Like it wasn't even on that. Like at this point in my life, I expect that a lot of people probably don't make as much money as I do. You know what I'm saying? So
and we actually noticed that because like we know, your situation. You have been married and divorced, so you've been through certain things. So there's a quality of life that you are not what's the word? You're not willing to compromise on.
Right.
At this point, yeah, go ahead.
It's a life that I created for myself. Like even when I was married, me and my husband made about the same amount of money. We just put all our money in the account and we paid the bills. Like, it wasn't even like we didn't have financial issues. So people talking about my past, I'm like, I didn't have that. That wasn't what I was talking about. When I talk about loyalty, security, like he started attaching finances to what I was saying. That wasn't.
And I feel like that was just him.
And I think, but I also think that where I do understand where Phil's coming from is what's loyalty and security got to do with anything. Then, if you're saying he's a good guy, he's a good person, but the only problem is instability. What is loyalty got to do with him? Because he's seemingly loyal, right? Seemingly, we can only tell by the show. Seemingly loyal. The security aspect may be the baby mother situation, but again, his answer about baby mother, she'll do what she wants to do. Another guy said about control, and someone had an issue with that. Now, if someone else is saying, baby mother, she'll do what she want to do, that could be an issue with the answer. Now, I personally, and of course, I do speak to Aries, but I'm going to take my own perspective of what I see. Personally, I just think he lacked the leadership qualities that Aries actually liked. I think if we just keep it a buck and keep it real, it's not the leadership style that she likes, number one. Number two, he definitely is going to think about the money situation because you like a certain lifestyle. And that definitely is going to play into it. Number three, the other aspect is that he's got a lot of things going on that he wants to do. And I guess that the reason why he's pushing it more about what he wants to do is because he probably sees how your lifestyle is already and wants to almost kind of assure you that he can match that lifestyle. But in reality, if you haven't actually executed, you actually can't match that lifestyle. There has to be an execution. Otherwise, it's just hopes and dreams at that particular given point.
Trying to combat the fact that his career was not where. That was definitely his way of trying to, kind of.
Lord help.
But when your life is not aligned, and you have, like you said, it's almost like his purpose was not there. He's not truly understanding of where he wants to be. It's almost like he knows what he wants, but he's just not sure how to get there. I think that might be.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can want to do more and not really understand exactly what path you might want to take per se. And I get that, but it's like you want to. I believe in. I don't want to attach myself to someone who doesn't know what their purpose is. Like I need to know where you're going before, because how are you leading without direction?
And I think the key thing here, and I'll end it on this point, is that Aries has achieved so much in life that she needs somebody of purpose. Because whenever people say about you need to know your purpose, I think about the everyday man who's working a 9 to 5. Does he know his purpose? You know what I'm saying to you? The purpose talk is for people that have reached a certain level. The purpose talk is for those who are creatives. The purpose talk is for those who are builders, right? The purpose talk isn't for those people who are helping to build other people's dreams. They don't have that purpose. They're normal 9 to 5 workers. No offense to them. They're normal 9 to 5 workers. They're normal people. They go about their life. They're happy to live their life and enjoy. You know what I mean? Simple things. It's very simple. But when we talk about purpose, I always think to myself where it's a luxury to those. When I say purpose in terms of, life and gift, the purpose is a luxury to those who are willing and wanting to achieve more than life is just giving them. So you don't just want to work a regular job. You want to do things and achieve things and go beyond the norms of what people see around you and stuff, and what you've seen growing up. You want to be exceptional. That's what I think when people talk about purpose, because when people ask me what's my purpose, I'm like, hey, look, my purpose is to bring healing to the world through relationships, right? God has given me the ability to see certain things and be observatory and bring wisdom into areas. So my thing is to bring healing, not necessarily by laying of hands, but by touching the hearts of people and helping them mend it by bringing the past and the present together to needle things and bring understanding. And hopefully that understanding then elevates that person's way of thinking and their mindset and where they at. That's my purpose. And I don't even like calling it purpose, because purpose is a wrong word when we talk about this in Christendom. Everybody's purpose is exactly the same in the kingdom of God. It is to worship Jesus Christ, Lord and personal Savior. That's it. That's the purpose of a human being. That's what you were created to do. You were created to worship. Anything other than that, you are not fit for purpose. You get thrown in the bin. The second part we're talking about is, what is your calling? But we use purpose as a word because it's interchangeable. But the real word is called calling. And in the Bible, 2 Corinthians 5:21 and 21, when it talks about the ministry of reconciliation, I think I might be misquoting that 21, but don't quote me 100% on that. I definitely know 2 Corinthians 5. It might be from 19 to 21. But the calling of in an individual, the gifts and the talents that are attached to make the calling. You understand what I'm saying to you? What are you called to do? But anyway, leave that biblical stuff alone, because I know you guys didn't come for the Bible, but you got the Bible anyway. And so I think that's what she's talking about. Like, the vision that he has, what is he going to do? Where does he see himself? And if there's a lot of things, if there's a litany of things that you want to do, and there's no aim and there's no direct focus, I think that key word is this: focus. Then what happens is it becomes a scattergun approach, and it becomes a lucky approach, which is, if it falls in my lap, I'm gonna do it. And in that way, you leave that person behind you who has achieved quite a lot and had a line that they were walking along. You kind of throw them off that line. So I do understand where she's coming from. Now, part two, I'll do a video of this, and maybe another time she speaks about the respect comment as well a little bit later. So I will tap into that a little bit later, but I just wanted to bring that to you guys, and hopefully you get to have a little bit more insight. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys.